right, here we have Teddy Gallagher, captain of the Coastal Carolina football team. Teddy, thanks for doing this interview with me. I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your time at Coastal and about your time as a leader and the captain of the football team. So, first of all, to start off, just describe like the process of becoming a member of the Coastal football team. How'd you get here? Stuff like that.
Yeah, so I came from junior college, and I kind of had a rough experience recruiting in high school. And then, so when I went to junior college, my goal was to get out as fast as I could. And so I went to junior college for one semester, and I had a couple offers, but I loved it here, loved my visit here, and I just ended up coming here, and I'm super glad that I came here.
Good stuff. So when you got here, kind of talk about a little bit about what was like the state of the team, what were you coming into, what kind of like leadership atmosphere was there, were there established leaders, kind of what was your feel of the team when you got here?
There were established leaders, but it was kind of interesting. A lot of the good leaders were kind of the younger guys on the team. The older leaders, well, I wouldn't even call them leaders. I mean, they kind of, there's a lot of bad apples in the sense that a lot of guys were looking out for themselves more than the team, and I felt like the team was kind of going in the wrong direction, and but we had a bunch of younger guys that kind of helped keep the team together when other people didn't want to step up in that role.
Awesome. How did you? So you talk about younger guys being leaders on the team. How did you? You got there. There was a group of younger guys that were leaders. How did you develop into a leader of the team yourself? How did you kind of come into that role?
I would say that I feel like in football sometimes your play makes you a leader, and you become a guy that people look to. And I wasn't necessarily used to that, but I kind of developed into a leader just by watching how other guys led, and just know that what I wanted was best for the team, and just putting the team first and everything. And then if you have the guys, like the good players in your team, become the good leaders in your team and always do the right things, and you're going to have a good team because people tend to follow the good players on the team.
Yeah, so you're kind of saying your play puts you in a position to have people kind of following you just because of your play, and then ended up being a good leader as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So now it's gonna transition a little bit into talking about like a kind of a specific event, not really an event, but a specific time in your career at Coastal. Describe the state of the team when you first got here. Describe what the team was like, after 2 consecutive losing seasons. How was that? How was the atmosphere of the team? And what was it like being a leader during those times? And what worked well? What do you think made the most impact on the team of things that you did as a leader to kind of help the guys through that?
I kind of feel like from 2018 and 2019, that was when the shift kind of began, and we didn't have as many people that were kind of leading in the wrong direction. We had a lot of guys going in the right direction, but the 2019 season, I think, was a losing season because of the fact we had some key injuries, and that we had we had good leadership in the way that everyone played very hard, and everyone worked super hard, and we fought to the last play every single game, but sometimes the details weren't there, and we as leaders, we got the team going in the right direction in 2019 in the way that everyone was working harder, everyone wanted to win, everyone cared about the team, but the biggest transition from 2019 to 2020 was the leadership was that we had to tell everyone to be more focused. You couldn't just play hard and expect to win. 2018 maybe the problem was playing hard. 2019 we played hard, but we didn't have the details, and 2020 it came together where we played super hard and we had the details together, and I think that comes from all the leaders on the team, and I think that it just telling everyone to focus on the little things. Maybe if you can get better right here in this one little area, they can help the team tremendously, and I think that's what we all focused on that offseason.
That's cool. That's good stuff. So was there anything that you think that you did specifically as a leader? You talked a lot about like the group of guys, the group of leaders on the team. Was there anything specifically that you did that you think made an impact on the team? Anything that you can remember that you kind of thought about going into that season or during that transition time from 2019 to 2020? Was there anything that you did specifically that you can think of?
I just think I talked to people more. Like, asked them, maybe ask them what they were confused on in a certain defense, or, talk to them and, lift them up to make sure that they're still working hard. and I just think I just talked to more people that off season.
So you talked about, getting the group of leaders to, get the guys going and getting them playing the right way, and then you want to try to focus a little bit more on the details. So you mentioned all that stuff. What were the results from that? Can you just take us through like a little bit about the transition from 2019 and 2020, everything that you guys put into action, put into your team, poured into your teammates, and as you were discussing, like, what were the results of that? What do you think stuck to those guys of the things that you were trying to, instill in them?
Yeah, so from 19 to 20, in 19, we were so close in so many games where it felt like one or two plays kind of changed the whole, a lapse of judgment in one or two plays changed the whole game, and that's why we lost those games. And, I just felt like everyone, coaches included, strength staff included, hammering everyone to get in on the details, it just made the whole difference because, those one or two plays that made us lose games in 2019, people realized how close we were. And so in 2020, we didn't have those one or two glaring mistakes, and, that made us win those games that we lost the year before.
Cool. So transitioning into, like, a little bit more retrospective, so you had the struggles in 2018, struggles in 2019. 2020 had an incredible season. Obviously a lot of the things that you were talking about ended up working for the team. You guys got going in the right direction. What do you think personally you learned about yourself as a leader? Just going through that process of, having a couple losing seasons and being the guy that everybody was looking to. What did you learn about yourself as a leader that you took forward from those 3 seasons?
I feel like my whole life I had never been, the rah-rah kind of guy, like screaming and yelling, and, it kind of taught me that I can lead in other ways. Like, in the beginning, I wasn't really that guy that would yell and scream. I just try to pick individually people and help them out. But then I ended up turning into the guy that could stand in front of the whole team and, say what needed to be said, even if I had to yell. And, it taught me how to be a leader in certain areas. Sometimes people need to be yelled at, and sometimes people just need to have an arm around their shoulder and tell them that they're doing just fine and just keep their head up. And so it kind of taught me that, maybe that a leader that I didn't think I could be, I can be in, different types of ways.
That's cool. That's really awesome. Was there anything that you learned about, the people that you were leading? Was there any, just people in general maybe that you learned, like you said, like some people need to be led differently. Some tactics work better for people with certain personalities. Can you just talk about that a little bit more?
I think, innately people want to be good. Like they want to do the right thing.
Right.
But people are very easily influenced. So you look to a person in a position of power or someone that's good on your team, and they're doing the wrong thing. That's going to cause other people to do the wrong thing because they want to be like that guy. But people innately want to be good, I feel like. So, like, if you just give them an opportunity to be good and make good decisions, they're going to make good decisions. And, one thing I also learned is, misery loves company. And so, like, once you hear one person complaining, you got to nip that in the bud and put an end to it because, maybe someone else is feeling that way, but you can't let that compound into other people on the team. So you just got to keep everyone positive because, once one person starts complaining or starts, bringing things down, other people are going to join them because,
it'll snowball so fast. Yeah, definitely. So everything we just talked about, if there was the ability to put it all into kind of one quick little synopsis of it all, is there something that you could say to somebody going through a challenging situation or a tough time as a leader within their program or within their company or something like that? Is there something specific that you can say to them or any kind of tips or strategies that you have to kind of help bring them out, roughly?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like leading people individually is better than trying to, come at people as a collective whole. Because, if you sit in front of the team and talk to the team and say, this is what we need, this is blah, 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 people will just sit back in their chair and, it doesn't really resonate with them as much. But if you take your time, maybe taking your time to go individually to each person and tell them what you need from them, why you need it, and, that you love them and that you're here for them is just something that I think can bring a group so much better than what they even think that they can do themselves.
That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming up here and and talking about all this stuff. Some good stuff you just mentioned, and I really appreciate it.